Does your doctor take money from drug companies to speak on their behalf? If he or she does, it's been a closely kept industry secret until now. The nonprofit newsroom ProPublica has developed a database of payments to thousands of doctors, so now you can easily find out how much money big pharma companies pay them. It's a controversial topic. Supporters say paid speakers can keep you healthy. Critics say it's all about marketing. Tonight, a closer look at the influence of drug company money on healthcare in dollars for docs. Washington Bureau Chief Darren Gersh has spent months looking into this issue. Tonight, Darren introduces us to one doctor and the decision he made.
We're going to go into room 1. How you doing today?
Good.
In some ways, this is your classic family practice. Dr. Stuart Stoloff has been practicing medicine in Carson City, Nevada for over 32 years.
Taking your medicine every day.
But Stoloff is more than your typical family doc. If you have asthma, he likely helped with your diagnosis.
Take a deep breath.
That's because Dr. Stoloff serves on the national expert panel setting asthma treatment guidelines. And that's a key reason he came to the attention of drug companies like GlaxoSmithKline, which asked him to speak to other doctors.
And when you do that, when you're involved in that task, the pharmaceutical industry really would like to have you as an advisor. The pharmaceutical company wants to know what you know. They want to know what you're thinking, what the evidence is.
When he first started speaking to other doctors, Dr. Stoloff says Glaxo paid him to talk about his work and the work of the expert panel.
That was an absolute joy to me because I got to raise issues. I got to ask questions where we don't have answers.
A new database compiled by the nonprofit newsroom ProPublica underscores the extensive financial connections between pharmaceutical companies and the nation's doctors. The database merges information from 7 drug companies that have publicly disclosed payments to physicians. Many of the disclosures were required by legal settlements. These companies represent just over a third of the industry, but since last year, they have paid almost 18,000 doctors, speaking, consulting, and other fees, totaling almost $258 million. In some cases, the pay is substantial. 384 doctors have each earned more than $100,000 from drug companies in the last 2 years. Dr. Stoloff is one of them, but his ranking in this lucrative and influential group is falling fast.
The records that Glaxo put out shows that you made $107,000 in 2009. Speaking for them. And in 2010, it's $500.
Oh, I made $500?
That's what it says.
Oh, wow.
What changed?
Okay. In 2009, the majority of the year, I was invited to speak on guidelines and on the state of asthma.
But a year ago, Dr. Stoloff says Glaxo told him there would be changes to his contract. If he wanted to keep speaking for the drug maker, he would have to follow the slideshow presentation, or deck, Glaxo had developed.
You will speak only on the slides that we provide you, and we will tell you exactly what you will say, basically word for word.
And that crossed a line for Dr. Stoloff.
I couldn't do it. I'm not trying to sell drug. And the slide decks that have been developed by the companies, not that all of them are the same, but overwhelming, it's to sell their product.
Critics say the extensive use of doctors to speak for drug companies inflates the cost of medicine by promoting brand-name drugs over cheaper generics.
And Cleveland Clinic's Dr. Stephen Nissen argues the problem goes even further.
The minute that physicians become the marketers for drug companies, we are now serving 2 masters. Which master do we serve? The patient or the drug company? I don't think you can serve both masters.
In an email to Nightly Business Report, GlaxoSmithKline writes, "We respect Dr. Stoloff's position, but we cannot waive our policy, which is that GSK reviews all information to be presented to ensure that it is consistent with the approved U.S. label for the products discussed." Dr. Tom Stossel is a longtime advocate of industry cooperation with doctors. He argues that's critical to developing and implementing treatments that have dramatically improved medicine. Dr. Stossel says there's a good reason companies are asking doctors to stick closely to the slides, which have been submitted to the FDA for review.
But it's not because the companies are putting subliminal marketing messages in the material. It's because they are so afraid of legal consequences.
Which Stossel considers a shame. He worries about curtailing pharmaceutical company speakers programs because doctors are already too slow to adopt treatments that help their patients.
A much greater problem than physicians getting inappropriate information is physicians not getting information. And there are many examples of important products that didn't get to patients who needed them for a very long time.
But Nissen says patients are raising uncomfortable questions.
Patients sometimes, they've told me this, are questioning, why was I given this drug? And if they question the integrity of our decision-making process, then they will not take the therapies and they may be seriously harmed by that.
Dr. Stoloff says the money he earned did not influence what he prescribes. And he says the particular drug a patient uses is often dictated by insurance companies anyway.
Most people now, the first thing they ask is this product, is this medicine on my formulary? Where is it on my formulary? And second, do you have a generic?
Dr. Stoloff is still paid to consult on asthma treatments and the development of clinical trials for at least 5 drug companies. But he says he'll never agree to give a speech to promote a single drug, a practice he says does not promote sound science.
Why don't you just wear a shirt that says the name of the product on the front when you walk in the room? If the only thing you're going to do is talk about that one product, it is a waste of my time.
Darren Gersh, Nightly Business Report, Washington.
Tomorrow night, Darren looks at how carefully drug companies are vetting the doctors who speak for their companies. Now, our partners for this detailed look at the influence of drug company money on healthcare include ProPublica, NPR, the Chicago Tribune, the Boston Globe, and Consumer Reports. Want to know if your doctor is on the list? Check our website, nbr@pbs.org.